And here with Megan Hunt from Third Space Accounting to explain to us exactly what the new budget changes actually mean for investors. Obviously, the media is making it sound really complicated and really scary, so would love to get your opinion, Meg. First of all, let's start with negative gearing. What does this actually mean? What are the changes?
Okay, so if you are an existing investment property holder, the negative gearing stays as is. So they've put in place a grandfathering rule, which means if you already held the property before budget night, you're all good to just keep going as you were before. Any new investors coming into the market, if you're buying a new house and land package or something, you're still going to be able to get access to the negative gearing rules as they were before. If you buy an existing property, however, they are scrapping the old negative gearing rules and they're limiting it. So what that means is that you can still claim deductions up to the point where the property becomes neutral, but any additional costs that would have in the past pushed it into that negative gearing position, those losses then get quarantined and they roll forward. They roll forward until whatever comes first, whether the property becomes positively geared and then you can start utilizing those carried forward losses, or if you sell the property and then they can form part of your capital gains calculation and you can use them at that point in time. So that's kind of the high level summary of the two different changes and the scenarios that people are going to be in.
Amazing. And then what about capital gains? What's changed?
Yeah, so capital gains, the main change is that they are scrapping the 50% discount. So previously, if you held any assets for longer than a 12-month period, you got access to a 50% discount, which meant that if you had made a $500,000 capital gain on a property that you sold, $250,000 of that was completely tax-free. The other $250,000 you would then pay tax at your marginal rate. Now they are scrapping the 50% discount and putting in place the indexation method. So if you buy a property for $1 million today and 10 years later you sell it for $2 million, they will apply an ATO issued indexation rate. And they might go, okay, well, you paid $1 million, the indexation over the course of 10 years pushes it to say 1.3 as a cost base, and then your 2 million less your 1.3 gives you $700,000 gain. That's what then you will be paying tax on. And again, it'll be at your marginal rate, but a minimum of 30%. So if you're already in a higher tax bracket and your average rate is above 30%, it's not really going to make too much difference. But if you were in a lower tax bracket, it'll be pushed up to that 30% mark.
And as far as people getting valuations on their property, can they just get a valuation from their local real estate agent?
Nah, you really need to go and get a proper valuer to come in and do that 30 June 2027 valuation, because 1st of July 2027 is when those new indexing rules come in. So yeah, the issue is if you go and get a valuation from a real estate agent and they sort of give you a bracket, if you ever needed to substantiate or provide any documentation to the ATO for an audit or something, that's not going to stack up. So they're going to want to see a proper valuation done.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
All right.